For this next effect, we need 4 random red cards and 4 random black cards. So we'll go ahead, maybe I'll just take this whole block of 4 black ones there. And then, let's see, there's 3 red and there's a 4th one. Okay. Now the card values are not important here. The suits aren't really either, except for the fact that some are red and some are black. So we just need 4 red and 4 black, which is what we have. Now, I want you to play a significant part in all of this. You really will be given many, many choices to help randomize these cards the best we can, and I'll help as well to kind of scramble them. So why don't we start out with you making choices first. Why don't we perform something called the first shall be last, the last shall be first. So how this works is I'll begin dealing out the cards into piles, and you can tell me when to stop and move to the next pile. And then we'll deal out from left to right, and then we'll stack in opposite order because that's what the shuffle says to do. The first shall be last, the last shall be first. Okay, well, you'll see in just a second. So I'll begin dealing, and then you, when you feel inclined, go ahead and say stop. Stop already? Okay. Stop there. Stop right there, just one. Okay. So first shall be last, and the last shall be first. So you just stack in opposite order. And that helps to kind of randomize the cards even better. Let's do another one of those. So I'll begin dealing. Tell me when to stop. Stop there, just one. Okay. Stop there. One more, okay. Very good. First shall be last, the last shall be first. Would you like to do one more of those before we move ahead? You would, okay. So I'll go ahead and stop there. One more, okay. One more still, okay, very good. First shall be last, the last shall be first. Okay, so that begins to mix the cards. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to mix the cards by choosing some from the top and some from the bottom, okay? So that really will begin to scramble things. So maybe I'll take one from the top, maybe 2 from the bottom, then 1 from the top. Then maybe we'll do 1 from the bottom, and then 2 from the top, and then the last one will go on top, okay? I just want to show you that we've kind of really have scrambled these cards a fair amount together here. Okay, now the star of the show for this particular video are a couple of shuffles. I decided to combine them. The first one's called a 50% coding. I'll go ahead and demonstrate it. So this is where you just count out half the cards, drop the rest on top. That's called a 50% coding. By the way, coding stands for count out and transfer. That's a little acronym there. And then the other one's called a Charlier 1. Okay. Now this is a name that I gave it because there's no name for it in the literature. So you push off the top card, just 1, and then from the bottom you push off just 1. From the top it goes on the bottom. The bottom card here goes on top. Top goes on the bottom, bottom to top, top to bottom, bottom to top. Okay, so that's called the Charlier 1. Let me just do it one more time. You push off the top, and what I tell myself is top to bottom, bottom to top repeatedly. It kind of keeps you on track. So I pushed over the top card. So now 1 card from the bottom goes on top. 1 card from the top goes on the bottom over here. 1 card from the bottom over here goes on top, top to bottom, bottom to top, top to bottom, bottom to top. Okay, so that is the Charlier 1. And then the 50% coding, you just count out half of them, drop the rest on top. Okay, now you haven't sounded in on any choices there as to what you would like to see happen. So which of those 2 shuffles would you like me to perform, and in what order? Okay, or just go ahead and just state one of them and I'll perform it, and then we'll ask if you're satisfied. So which one would you like me to perform first? 50% coding? Okay, so this is where we just go 1, 2, 3, 4, drop the rest on top. And now what? Charlier 1, okay. Probably a good combination actually, because those 2 together are really beginning to scramble things. Okay, what would you like now? Another Charlier 1? Okay, so top to bottom, bottom to top, top to bottom, bottom to top. And then a 50% coating. Okay, that's very good. One more Charlier. A Charlier 1, I guess I have to be careful. Regular Charlier is a little different. And then a couple of 50% coatings in a row. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, drop the rest on top. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, drop the rest on top. Okay, are you satisfied, or would you like to do any one of those 2 shuffles again? You would. The Charlier 1? Okay, so push over the top, top to bottom, bottom to top, top to bottom, bottom to top, top to bottom, bottom to top, top to bottom. Or bottom to top. Very good. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to deal them into 2 piles, just a left and right, just like you would normally deal a couple of hands out for 2 players. And then from there, we're going to take each of these and just deal them out into 2 piles each. So it's kind of fun if you think about it. I call this a repeat LR. LR is for left, right, and then repeat just means that once you've created 2 piles, do another LR. So with 8 cards, we only have to do 2 LRs to get down to little piles of 2 cards. And that's what we're focused on. We'd like to just to get down to pairs of cards for us to take a look at. Okay, so what have we accomplished here? Well, that's interesting. We have each pair consisting of cards of the opposite color. That's really, really interesting. Okay. Well, now I could have had a written prediction for that. I didn't take the time, sorry, to do it. I could have written prediction, pull that out and say we would finish with pairs of opposite color. I do want to do a little encore performance for you that if you do this, and have a prediction that's going to be quite surprising to the spectator, given all of the choices that they made that surely should have messed things up. Well, it won't, because of this very special Bessey sequence here. So here's an encore performance that you might like. So what you can do here is you can just go ahead and stack these. Okay, just stack these from left to right or right to left. Okay. Now what will end up happening is our special structure is still there. And we'll talk about this in the tutorial in just a second. Well, because of that, we can now continue to do the Charlier ones, 50% coatings in any order, any number of those. And then what you can do differently to finish is you can do an LR like we did before. So this is the same for the reveal. Now what we originally did is now we picked up each of these and did another left, right, okay? Well, instead of doing that, if you do the following, you'll get pairs that match in color instead of being of opposite color. So now if you just do a Klondike shuffle to create little pairs, so you just Klondike each of these, it ends up that each pair will consist of the colors, guaranteed. Why is that? Because of this most amazing sequence. 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0. Okay, so let's explain. So that's kind of like 2 performances in one. I wasn't going to show you this encore, but I thought we were just one step away from matching them up in color versus having them of opposite color. So that gives you 2 different ways to finish depending on your preference, or to have it as a second leg of a continuing routine. Okay, so how this works is, well, you can start with a shuffled deck of cards, of course, and it is true. So let me tell you everything that's true and what may be a fib. I don't remember telling too many fibs for this one. Okay, so it is true that we need 3 red and 4 red and 4 black. Okay, there we go. Okay, And they can be random. The values are of no importance whatsoever. Okay? Okay, so 4 red and 4 black. Now, it doesn't matter how you stack these. Now, you keep them as a block, though. That's important. So just stack them in either order. Don't make a big deal of it. Just do it. And then I gave you the option to ostensibly begin to mix this little packet by using what I call the first shall be last and the last shall be first shuffle. Well, that shuffle ends up being equivalent to a packet reversal. Well, golly, if you reverse the order of all of the cards, this one becomes the bottom and so forth, it won't change the fact that one half, the top half is of one color and the bottom half is of the other color. Okay, so that's what this first shall be last, last shall be first shuffle actually does. It's just a packet reversal. But it is important that you stack in opposite order. And that's built into the name itself. So that helps justify the fact that you're dealing them out, first shall be last, and then the last cards dealt are the first ones to pick up as you stack them. Okay, and you can do as many of these as you like or the spectator would like. Okay, but stack from right to left. Okay, and so that won't harm the fact that we have the top 4 of one color, the bottom 4 of the other. Okay, so we haven't really hurt anything yet. Okay, and then from there, I mentioned the stars of the show, namely these 2 new shuffles that we're showing you that actually preserve this structure. The first one is the 50% coating. Oh, sorry, we're not in, sorry about that. We need to get it in the special structure first. So, sorry about, right now we're not there. This will not allow us to do what we just did a moment ago. It will not finish the way we wanted. Sorry, we need to get it in this protected organization here. Okay, so how did I do that? Do you remember? How did I do that? Well, I just took 1 from the top, 2 from the bottom, 1 from the top. And remember, these are different colors, top and bottom. And I took 1 from the bottom, and then 2 from the top, 1 from the bottom. Well, what does that do? Well, it just creates this sequence, special sequence, relative to red and black cards. So here we have red, so you associate red with 1 if you want. A couple of blacks, those are like zeros. Here's a red, so a 1. Black, a 0, a couple of reds, those are 1s, and then a black, which is 0. So now it's in that special arrangement that will be preserved by just about every shuffle under the sun, as we're learning in this little series. Okay, so it's at this point the spectator is free to do as many 50% coatings or Charlier 1s as you like, and it won't hurt this special structure here. Okay, so a 50% coating is where you just count out half of them, drop the rest on top. Okay, and then a Charlier 1 is where you push off the top, and then the bottom card, single card goes on top, single top card goes on the bottom, single bottom card goes on the top, top to bottom, bottom to top, top to bottom, bottom to top. Okay, and that won't hurt our structure in the least. Now it may change it to its inversion, which in this case it didn't. But if we had done one more Charlier, it would have actually, Charlier 1. So we still have that special structure of a red, 2 black, a red, and then a black, 2 red, and a black. Okay? Now you can do as many of those as you like, a 50% coating or a Charlier 1 in any quantity, any order. Okay? And you'll arrive back to a similar packet to this one. It will have the same structure type that this one does. And then from there, what we did was we simply dealt out into 2 piles. Remember that? Okay, and in the initial performance, I said, oh, okay, well, let's go ahead and do that again. It's actually kind of a fun thing to do because it's so neat and tidy. You know, you do a left, right, and then you do another left, right, and you get down to these pairs. Well, it ends up that these pairs will always consist of opposite colored cards. Okay? And a way to see that is to go ahead and just do everything with the cards face up. Now you don't show the spectator this, but just to show you here, we are in the right sort of order. We do have one of the, here's black, which is fine. We have black, 2 red, and a black, and then a red, 2 black, and a red. Okay, so it's still of this structure type, where maybe you can switch the assignments of the 0s and 1s relative to red or black. But if we do what I just showed you face up, because we're supposed to be doing a tutorial here, so, okay, so this is kind of where we are, okay, but before we deal out further, but just try to anticipate what's going to happen, right? So view this as the top now. We just happen to have it face up. Okay, so when I go to deal, so just kind of picture this. When I go to deal left, right, those are guaranteed to be pairs of opposite color. The same thing here, left, right, we will get pairs of opposite colored cards. Okay, so that was like the first part. And this, I call it a repeat, kind of LR deal. That actually is a shuffle that preserves this as well. Let me just show you. If you stack from left to right, we get back to the same sort of structure type. It's red, 2 black and a red, and then black, 2 red and a black. Okay, so we haven't fundamentally harmed this. Okay, and so the second one I showed you as an encore performance was to go ahead and begin the same, do left, right, but to finish with a Klondike shuffling to get pairs. Well, look what's going to happen. This is considered the top of the packet, just happens to be face up. So when we pull off the top and bottom for the Klondike shuffle, we'll pull off the 6 and the 8 into one little pair, right? So I'll just show you here. So when you go Klondike, we'll get that. Same thing here. The 4 and 5 are going to be paired up. Klondike. Okay. So with this kind of one structure of this red and black Bessey sequence organized, you can use the LR deal repeatedly and get pairs of opposite colored cards, or you can use the LR deal once and then use the Klondike shuffle to get exact matching pairs of cards. Okay? I thought that would be a fun one to add to your repertoire of amazing mixing procedures that will not harm this seemingly indestructible sequence. So thank you for watching, and take a look at the other videos that relate to the Bessey sequence. And some of the others, I have hundreds. I'm pushing 400 videos. And they deal with various levels of mathematical background and expertise. It is actually true that anyone can do just, I believe, any of the card effects that I've shown. Because for the more advanced ones, I often give a full write-up. Like, okay, do this, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. Okay? So take a look at the other playlists on the Hidden Structures channel. I think you'll find some really fun ones. And one playlist in particular that people enjoy is the 60-second card trick playlist. And for each of those 1-minute card tricks, if you go down to the description, there'll be a link to a PDF of a full write-up of that effect. And so if you like the effect, you can take a look at that write-up and even print it off if you like, and you'll be able to perform it yourself right away. So thank you for watching, and I hope you take a look at some of the other videos on my channel.